Let's talk about blocking. Let's talk about blocking first and foremost for big guys, downhill runners, cats like Steven Jackson, Marshawn Lynch. What goes into it?
You know, we're trying to create as much space as possible. Okay. We're trying to displace defenders vertically, and we're trying to create distance so that these big guys can get their feet in the ground and get a full head of steam and really fall forward for some extra yards. You
have some plays, very Richie Incognito centric, that you're going to walk us through before we get to a demonstration?
We got a couple highlights to walk through. First, we'll start here back in the St. Louis days, running a power block. I'm just coming down on the linebacker, trying to create some space, get Steven Jackson to the second level, and really let him do his thing.
We moved the linebacker like 5 yards back. But
that's the thing, man.
I hate to see that.
You're trying to create space. Here we have a man blocking scheme. We're going to double team the nose guard. And all we're doing is we're just trying to create space because we're trying to create space for the fullback. And we're trying to create space for Steven to build up that head of steam to burst into the second level.
Okay, now we talked about this being a demonstration segment. I have my sleeves rolled up for whatever reason because I'm not part of the demonstration. You and Willie are going to show how those blocks are thrown in the game.
Let two pros handle it.
I'll step aside. Let me get out of the way. Sorry about that, guys.
Let us do work.
So I'll be like a DT.
Yeah, you'll be like a three-technique defensive lineman.
And just show me okay, we'll have two runs. We'll have an inside run and an outside run. So start with the inside run.
So we'll start with an inside run. Usually the landmark is either the guard or inside me. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reach block you.
Okay. And which way is the ball going?
The ball's coming right behind me.
Right behind you.
Right behind me. And what we're trying to do is create space, move the line of scrimmage, and give the back some room to cut.
Gotcha.
So inside zone, I'm getting lined up. I'm in my stance. I'm looking at you where you're lined up, and I'm watching your feet.
Okay.
Your feet are going to take me to my landmark. And with your feet right there, my first step's going to go just like this, right on the outside foot, and just like that. I'm going to marry up your feet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to win the block with my feet first and then my head. Gotcha. My head, I'm looking at the inside half of your play side number, and I'm looking to gain leverage right there. So once my feet take me to the block, my head goes in, hands, leverage. And all I'm doing, I'm driving. You know, I'm driving here, I'm rolling my hips through, and we're trying to create space. We're trying to move the line of scrimmage so the back can get up into the line and make a cut, make the appropriate cut.
Okay, now that's the inside zone one. What about an outside zone run?
So a wide zone scheme, which we're going to be featuring in Buffalo this year, is a little different. What I'm doing is I'm trying to create space horizontally and vertically. I'm trying to get you running because what we do is once we have you running, it puts more stress on the back end of the defense.
Gotcha.
The linebackers have more space to cover up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my first step, and my first step is my guide step. I'm opening up to be able to bring my hip through my power on my second step. So I'll open it up, I'll get you running, and then I'm going to pop you right on the second step, right down the crotch. And what we're going to do is I'm going to stay on the angle, and then while you're fighting for leverage this entire time, we're creating space for the runner, and we're putting stress on that second level.
Okay, now that's when you're throwing, obviously, big-time blocks for big backs like Steven Jackson and Marshawn Lynch. How about the shiftier guys, cats like Reggie Bush, maybe Shady McCoy?
You know, surprisingly enough, it's not different blocking for big backs or little backs.
Okay.
We all have the same foundational setup. We're all trying to get to our aiming points and our fundamentals. The difference is in the finish. Those big backs, they're coming downhill, and they're trying to get 4 and 6 yards. Mm-hmm. So when we feel defenders trying to disengage and make a play, our job is to re-leverage and finish the play and get that extra 2 or 3 yards.
We hate that.
The defenders hate when we finish them.
Okay.
But now with a shifty guy like Shady, Reggie Bush, they're looking for open grass. And when we get on our blocks, we're hitting the same landmarks, but when we feel defenders start to disengage, that's when we have to have that final tug. We're just trying to grab our defender and keep him in and give those guys enough room to get out in the open space and juke and put stress on the defenders.
All right, well, let's take a look at a few plays before you actually demonstrate with my guy Willie one more time. But here's some of those plays, Richie. Walk us through that with the shifty backs.
Miami days, this is a wide zone play. I'm just reaching the 3 technique, just what I did on Willie. Here we go. I got him. I throw him inside. The landmark's outside. Got turned around a bit on that play, but we're trying to get the outside. Here we're running a counter. The aiming point is up in the A gap. I'm coming down. The defensive end's supposed to keep contained. He doesn't keep contained. I get him hooked, and then here's where you see the finish. I hook that outside shoulder and give Shady and the fullback some room to get outside. Shady gets in the end zone.